Hi, this is Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Had a interesting card I wanted to show you and some variations on that. First one, I got this design or the idea for the design from For Holidays Design, so I want to get on YouTube, so I want to give credit where credit is due. Changed it a little bit, but I made these thinking about Valentine's Day coming up. Perfect gift card holders. They pop up, as you can see. Great little gift card holder. I did some for Christmas as well. So to make that, the hardest thing, obviously this is just a folded card, but to make the little gift bag that goes on the inside, you need to do this. So you need a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock that's 4 inches by 9.5 inches. You want to score on the 9.5 inch side at 3.5 inches, 4 inches, 4.5, 8, 8.5, and 9. Then you want to rotate it this way and score at 1 inch and at 3.5 inches. And then all these little marks where I marked X's is to cut. So you basically want to cut out this because these are going to be the gusseted sides. So it's going to go like that. So you want to cut out those and again on this side. And then I just kind of angled these because this is a glue tab that's going to connect this side to this side. So you can see like that. So I angled that down a little bit, and then I angled these sides because they're going to go fold in like that over the top. And so that just gives them a little more room. So once you cut all of that out, fold it together and glue it. And I'm going to leave it just flat with my hands out of the way in case you want to take a quick screenshot with all the measurements on there. Again, 4 inches, 9.5 inches, scored at 3.5, 4, 4.5, 8, 8.5, and 9. Rotate it, score at 1 and 3.5, and then cut out all these little pieces. Once you cut that out, glue it together. I keep this because this is my little template. You get this inside little piece. One option is, I should have done this before I glued it, but this is the part that folds over. So before you fold over that and glue it, you can poke 2 little holes on each side. I actually put it together and poked them so they were in exactly the same spot. Thread ribbon through and then glue the one top piece over the ends of the ribbon so it looks all finished. But you get it like this, and this is the bottom and it's open. So you take your card, and I just did kind of a trifold card. If you want measurements, this is 11 by 5, and I scored it at 3 and at 7.5. And then you're going to take the bottom part, which is open, and you're going to glue it. Let me get some tacky glue. And just put glue on that, on the tab on both sides. And then you're going to glue it so that it's right up against that fold and right in the middle. So I just put it in the middle and then close the tab and hold it for a little bit for it to adhere. And once that's adhered on there, you're done. That's simple. My glue wasn't quite done, so I'm going to hold that again. So I took that one. As you can see, I put the ribbon on that one. It's a little bit different than the other, but I decided to have some fun with it and try a completely different look. So I made this one. This is a 6x6 top fold card, and this is one of the floral, Crafter's Companion floral cut and emboss folders that I did. And I turned it into a pop-up floral card. So it's the same idea, except I angled, I don't know if you can see it, but I angled the sides here so they're not straight, to make it look a little bit more like a flower pot. And then I used craft card and inked on the edges to make it look a little more round. And then I put a strip down the middle and adhered a bunch of flowers to it. And I'll show you how I did that. I think it's a really fun card. So here's the template that I made for that one. You need 2 pieces of card for this one. Because of the angles, you can't really do it in one. So the first piece I cut 4 inches by 3, and then I measured in a 1/2 inch on the bottom from each side, and I just cut those. I just used my paper trimmer, or you can use a pair of scissors or whatever. And then you end up with something like this, and then you score a 1/2 inch across the bottom. Okay, so that's that one. This one, I made it 3 inches by 7 inches long. Then I took the 7-inch piece, and as you can see, I already cut this one, but I took the 7-inch piece, and on the 7-inch on the 7-inch side, I again measured in a 1/2 inch on each side and cut that angle. Then I put the angle against my scoreboard and scored at 1/2, 1 inch, 1 1/2, and flipped it around and did the same thing on this side, 1/2, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. And then again, you score 1/2 inch across the bottom. This one I didn't leave any top fold, to fold in at the top. I thought that might be a little bit difficult with the angles and everything. So then when you fold it, so I'm going to leave the template sitting there so you can see it, but you get this. And you do a mountain, valley, mountain fold on each side. And then when you do that, let me do it on the white so you can see. You actually, as you can see, it's not straight. You get, because of that angle, you get stuff sticking out the top. So what I did is I did that, and then I basically just cut an angle here before I folded it, so that when I fold it all up, it's underneath and it's not showing. And then you're going to glue this to this. So let me do that. And again, you just use those little gluing tabs on the side. You're going to glue the back to the front on the 2 sides. And you just want to line it up, which is why wet glue is really nice, because you can try to get it on there perfect. I should have done a better job of lining it up the first time. Just one side and the other. And just press that down. As you can see, my bottom tabs are not lined up perfectly because I cut the angle on this one but not on the other. That's easy to fix. Just snip those tabs so they're even. Now, if you want to put flowers in it, you need to have something to put the flowers on. And as you can see, it's just hollow in there. So what I did is I cut a strip of paper that's about 3/4 of an inch wide by, how long is that? 3 3/4. And then I just cut some angles on it to try and match that angle. And it doesn't really matter on the size of this because you can place it wherever you want. You just want something that's going to fit inside and glue onto those folds. Let me try and get it without glue just so you can see. So you can see, you just kind of set it in there like that, and then you're going to push it down and glue it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on there and get it glued down. And it doesn't really matter where you put it or which side you put it on, as long as you get it somewhere so that it'll fold flat and so that you have something to glue your flower stems to. And just like that. So it looks like that once you get the thing in there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put this in my card because then it'll stand up and it makes it easier to decorate. So I already did a card front. Again, it's a standard 6x6 card, so it's basically 12x6 scored at 6 halfway, and then I did another variation of the same cut and emboss folder, and you're just going to mount it right in there like that, same as the other one. So let me put some glue on the tab. And the craft card works. Oh, I didn't ink this one. Well, I can still do that. But so I could, on the other one, I actually measured the middle, but I'm just going to eyeball it. So it's going to go right in the center there. Just press it down. Now you don't have to ink it if you don't want to, but you can. And there you go. And now your flower pot's all ready to decorate. So I'm not going to bother to ink it, this one. So I did cut a bunch of flowers, and the one thing that I did do is, because the flowers are in something that's visible from both sides, with each of the flowers, I cut it twice per stem and I put them back to back. So no matter which side you're looking at, you actually see, what looks like the right side of the flower. And on these, as opposed to lining them up, I actually twisted them and offset them a little bit. It gives it a little fuller look. And I had almost all these, and then I decided it didn't look good enough, so I went ahead and added some of the little daisies that I had from and these are, this was a daisy dye, I think from the flower forming foam, and then I cut a bunch of different foliage, and you can use any flowers you want and any foliage you want in any combination. And all you do is, just like any other, like pop-up box or anything else, just take your flower stem, put some glue on there, and then the only thing I will tell you is, as you're putting it in, kind of decide where you want to put it, hold it in there on that tab, and then make sure that when you fold it up, it's going to be inside that 6-inch card, because you don't want it sticking out the top of the card here. I did that on one of the other ones. So, and you just stick them in and hold them. I usually start with the bigger flowers. I'm not a good floral arranger, but I read somewhere that that's what you're supposed to do, so that's what I do. I think that's going to be pretty good. And there you go. And then I loved these sentiments, so I was just using these on the inside because I felt like it needed something. You've got, given that it's a pop-up, you've got so much space on that 6-inch card. I just added a nice sentiment, and we're done. Kind of fun.